Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Toys and welcome back to Stoneblock 2. I have been very busy between episodes as, I've been working on the farm area. As you can see, I've not actually built too much up yet. Getting there. I'm going to do that here soon. We're going to have plenty of time. I'm going to have to be playing this mod pack quite a bit to finish up some of the quests later on. So we will get everything built eventually. But I have been working here in the farm, getting our storage system all set up. And hopefully I think everything should be going through. There's just one thing I'm kind of waiting on. And it's this guy right here. It's going to take some time to get what I need. But yeah, I've got all of the seeds planted and presumably growing. And yeah, it's awful. There is a lot of stuff going on here, and it's all being sent right here to this chest, which is being emptied out pretty quickly, to be fair. And these are all the crafters that are turning everything into what we actually want. So the thing I'm waiting on is the dragon egg chunk so I can replace these filters. And once I have that, then it'll be good. So everything is coming into here and should be all filtered up to the top to the storage system. This took some time, and I had to make a lot of changes, and there's so much stuff. There's also a ton of, like, so for example, the nether essence and what's another one? Mystical flower essence. Because they can be used for multiple things, I figured let's just go ahead and store them in the actual drawers themselves. So yeah, we've got a ton of stuff. We're collecting a ton of resources from both the chickens and the seeds, and eventually there will be a couple more things. I put cactus, sugarcane, wheat, and seeds in here. Potatoes and carrots are already being stored. I don't think we'll ever do anything with like pumpkins or whatever, but maybe we will. We'll see kind of what we need going forward. But I've cleaned up the farm best I could. And then eventually, like I said, I will build this area up. So we are done here for right now. We're just going to be collecting all of the goodies and using them to make terrible, terrible things that are really expensive, and that's what we were working on. If I remember, it's been a little bit, sorry, but that's what I've been working on. That's what we did last time, I should say, is make the gem armor from ProjectE, because what we are working towards is the infinity armor, and this shouldn't be too bad. Infinity ingots, we actually have quite a bit. We have 16 blocks of infinity. So we are going to be making the infinity armor before we go do a quest taking on the chaos chicken. So we'll fight the chaos chicken later, but I want to be invincible, I think is what I've decided. And then we'll fight. We'll probably use weapons, normal weapons. We could use the infinity sword, but that is also going to be fairly expensive. It's going to require another catalyst, but that's not that bad. And this would one-shot the chaos chicken. So we might make that and take it with us and maybe use it, but there's no reason for us to fight the chaos dragon or the chaos chicken. Same difference. Normally, just because that would require a ton of draconic evolution stuff, making all of the draconic armor and then upgrading it all and having a flux capacitor that's full, at least one, and it's a lot of work, and I don't really want to do that. I've done it before, and it's not the most fun. Draconic Evolution is a very overpowered mod, but it's not the most fun to fight the bosses sometimes. It can be very frustrating, especially if you die and lose all of that progress. So we're gonna just skip it and use, infinity stuff. So first things first, I want to do something with this crafting table, and what we're gonna do is duplicate it. Now, we do have a lot of gold blocks in here, but that's okay. We're going to take some out just so we can redo that. But that is for something that we'll get to in just a second. But I just want to make, like, one of these. One extra one should be enough for my purposes. And yeah, you ever get a phone call when you're in the middle of something? I've never had that happen before. No, I had a phone call. So there was an awkward cut there. But yeah, so we have some gold blocks in there. And I just wanted to make a second extreme crafting table so that we can keep this kind of set up for the catalyst, not the singularities, but we can also use this one for other things. And I think let's go ahead and put it here, and then we can make other things as we need them. Excuse me. So that is the first thing I want to do. The next thing I want to do is make our first singularity. And to do that, we are going to take 10,000 iron blocks. And do we have to have an empty hand, or am I just missing? It's also not that way. Translocators, I can never remember how you're supposed to use them. So we just hit this, and no? Do we need a filter? Will that make things nice? Maybe we need to give that one. No? I know what the problem is. Let's break these. That's not what I wanted to break, but that's fine. So I think what we have to do is put this on a different side. It should work. This should work just fine. But I think it has to be on the top, which is kind of a pain. You know what? There's only one in there. Let's break this. Let's put that there. Grab this. And put that there. It forgot about the one block that I put in, but that's fine because now it works. So the question is, diamond nuggets, I believe, is the filter. Maybe not. I feel like there's a way, and I can't remember with translocators because it's been a little bit since I've used them. Also, we need to get that one iron block. But we're gonna put 10,000 iron blocks into this neutronium compressor, and it is going to make us a... Why does it say 12? Did I not look at the number that we need? I didn't look at the number we needed. Okay, that's fine. That's not a big deal. So we need how many more? So we had 10,000. We're going to need 2,600. Okay, so 2,600. We'll just let that go, and then we will we'll worry about it afterwards. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna focus on ProjectE a little bit. There's one other thing I want to kind of quickly talk about, but we are going to mostly just try to get our first singularity from iron, and then we can duplicate it. Should be nice and easy. We only need a few of them, because the only thing that the iron singularity is actually used for, other than a quest, is to make the infinity catalyst. And that is the main thing that we need. And that is also... Yes, the first, and we're just going to go through all of these and make all of the various things we need. I need to remember to look at the number. It's not just 10,000. But one of the things that we are going to kind of have to future-proof for ourselves is we're going to need a lot of EMC later. And one of the ways that it kind of suggests making a lot of EMC is balanced clay. This stuff is full of EMC, and it will still take a ton of these to get what we need, which is a full EMC, whatever. We have to have the maximum amount of EMC possible in our transmutation tablet, or whatever. So it suggests using balanced clay, and we're probably going to do exactly that. The problem is balanced clay requires a ton of power. So we need to set up a really good power source. And I've always had a plan for this. This was supposed to be a bunch of catwalks, and again, we'll get building done later. But I'm going to dig down further, and we're going to put a Draconic Evolution storage, energy storage thing, sphere, I guess it's the best way to call it, storage sphere, at the bottom of it. And then route power and all that kind of stuff. We'll use wireless power probably, because why not? That'll be kind of cool. And the problem with that is, what does it actually say it's called? It is the... Where is it? Fusion crafting, energy network. There we go. No, that is not... It's not the energy network. It's the energy storage. So the energy storage core is apparently what it's called. We are going to go for tier 8, because why not? Tier 7 stores 2.14 trillion RF. I think, or something like that. It's a lot of power. Tier 8 effectively stores infinite. It's a lot. And so that's what we're going to go for, because why not? And, you know, we have a lot of stuff that we need. For a tier 7, you need 210 draconium blocks and 328 redstone blocks. That's a lot. Tier 8 requires almost 800 draconium blocks and almost 400 awakened draconium blocks. So we're going to need a lot of awakened draconium. And right now, the best way we have to making it is these guys. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a system that's going to give us a lot of EMC pretty quickly, and well, okay, relatively quickly, but definitely easily. And there is a term for them. ProjectE has been around for quite some time. It used to be called Equivalent Exchange, and then it got to Equivalent Exchange 3. And basically, there is a thing called a flower of power, or a flower, you know, a power flower or something of that nature. People like to call them flowers. And what it is energy collectors. These things generate EMC from light. You can use glowstone. Since we're underground, we can't use, you know, sunlight. And honestly, you would never want to use sunlight anyways. But we need to make these energy collectors. And from that, we can then pump that energy into an energy condenser and make some really good stuff. We can just have basically passively making awakened draconium blocks, nether stars, dragon eggs, whatever we want. So that is what we're going to work towards today. Now, the first things first, we need to make a new template. We are going to get a crafting template for an alchemical chest. Now, most of this is pretty easy. Stone, dark steel, diamond lattice, diamond chest, and then the covalence dust, which we do have. We crafted these before. They aren't really easy to automate crafting, but and there is no EMC for these things, which is unfortunate, but you get 40 every craft, so I'm not too worried. I don't think we're going to need that many of these. I just want a handful of the alchemical chests, because we will be making these later. So we'll get that. Now, the question is, the diamond lattice, we do not know how to make. What is the recipe? Is it like that? No. Let's just click it because it's easier. Okay, it's 5 diamonds. So we'll make the diamond lattice pattern, and then we need the diamond chest pattern. And this one is a little bit more annoying. So I believe, do we have glass being auto-crafted? Yeah, we have glass being auto-crafted in our stoneworks over here. So this is automatically making glass for us in the crushing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that is fine. And then we'll need the gold chest, which is not too bad. I do want to see, do we have... let's see, chests are auto-craftable, but that's the only one. Okay, that's fine. We'll deal with that. So gold chest is next. And then we will do iron chests. And that should be all that we need to do. So we just need to find enough space. And honestly, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I don't think we need those anymore, so we're just going to get rid of them. Rather than making more... my game crash? No. Okay. Just a little bit of a lag spike. It did not like that. But we should be able to make alchemical chests now, and we're going to want at least 2 of these. So, pretty easy. Pretty straightforward to do that, and we get our alchemical chests. Alright, so let's just clear these. It's not a big deal if I ever need to make those again, but I don't think we'll need any more seed, crafting seeds or anything like that. So, we have the alchemical chest. Why did we make that? Well, so we can make more condensers. So, energy, condenser. We have the tier 1, which is a wyvern tier. We need to get to the draconic tier. And these are really expensive because they take a lot of things that we don't have a good way of getting. We should also go ahead and make a crystal chest and a dirt chest so we can have the system make those when we need them. And those are nice and easy. So, we're going to want at least 2 of these. So let's go ahead and we'll craft that stuff up. But the other thing that we're going to need to do is upgrade this to draconic tier. So that is something else that we need. Let's see, draconic fusion crafting cores requires an awakened draconian block, wyvern cores, and diamonds. Now, a lot of that stuff is actually pretty easy. And hey, this is done, so we can... You do have to do empty hand. So we need 2,600. Let's get exactly that in there. By the way, the reason why this has the label is I made another key. So if we look at keys, there is the quantify key. And this thing is pretty easy to make. It is just a normal drawer key with a book and quill. And I just wanted to make that so I could easily see the number of blocks in there. And we just need 40 more. So that is 26. That should be exactly what we need. So we'll go ahead and dump that all in there. And then we can get rid of the iron blocks. And what we are going to make is wyvern cores. We're going to make just 1 wyvern core for right now. And then we're going to duplicate a bunch. So you've probably seen us make the fusion crafting stuff. We need to take one of the wyvern fusion tiers. We're going to need a bunch of diamonds and awakened draconian blocks, and we're just going to go ahead and make these. So diamonds, let's take like 2 stacks, and then I'm just going to dump a stack in there so it's a little bit faster, and just show off the first one. So to go from wyvern to draconic, we just break that off. It requires 2 cores, 1 block of awakened draconium, and then 4 diamonds. We should be able to throw this in here and start. So that is going to take quite a bit of power. What was it? It said, I think, almost 2 million RF each one. And we have we have 120. We have 51 million RF, so that should be all right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually step away. We have the Draconic Fusion Crafting. That was a quest as well. I kind of forgot about that. So we can go ahead and complete that. Tier 3 Injector is used for more of the expensive stuff. And yeah, so we are going to cut away. I am going to go ahead and upgrade all of that stuff to, or at least the ones we need, to the Draconic tier. And then we'll come back once we're ready to make the energy collector and the antimatter relay. We'll get to why we need that once we make it. But the energy collector, I should mention, and the antimatter relay do have EMC values, so that is really nice. So we'll come back and make those once I've upgraded all that stuff. All of the fusion crafting injectors are now to the Draconic tier, and we can make the recipes that we need. So we are going to be going up to the Mark III for both the energy collector and the antimatter relay. And I also decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and make the energy condenser Mark II. We're going to make 3 of these. Those are expensive. I didn't look to see how much energy that is required. But I have it set up now so that we can turn these alchemical chests into the energy condensers. And then I have all the stuff. We had made the black hole unit a while ago. And so we should be able to get this. I was able to duplicate these pretty easy. And I have hopefully everything we're going to need for everything. So we need, at the very least, the energy condensers. So we're going to make both of these. And you can automate this system, by the way, but I don't think we'll ever need to. We don't have to use it too extensively. But if that comes to it, then we'll deal with that at that point. Now, one thing to note is our singularity is done. So we have our iron singularity. That is the first one. And we're going to just put that in there. Next is the gold to make. And we're going to try to empty this out of EMC. Probably, anyways. But that is going to be something here soon. So let's go ahead and get the iron singularity. We get, actually a halfway decent reward. 4 64K ME storage cells. Cool. Alright, so our other energy condenser should be done, and it is. So let's start making let's start with the energy collector. So these are, actually we're going to do kind of both of them. So we're going to need glass and blocks of diamonds. So both the energy condenser, or energy collector, getting confused on everything, requires 6 glowstone, block of diamond, and glass, and the antimatter relay is the same thing, same recipes, except with obsidian instead of glowstone. So we're going to take 6 of these, and this is going to be a little bit annoying, but 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then that should be everything we need for the Mark I energy collector. And then we're going to do effectively the same thing with obsidian and get that all attached. And I think these are quests as well. I don't actually remember, and I have to get the book out to look, but let's go ahead and get the energy collector Mark I. We are going to get advancements, and that is something that I made. So both the dark matter block and the red matter block, these are just 4 each rather than 9, so it's not as expensive. And that is the other thing that we get achievements for, but it wasn't a quest or anything, so that's fine. But let's go ahead and make both of these. So what we're going to do is start with the glowstone ones. And so we're going to need 7 glowstone for each of these for the energy collectors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a dark matter, and then that makes the Mark II, and then red matter makes the Mark III. So that is it expensive on energy? It is not. It is super cheap, which is surprising given how powerful these are. So we're just gonna go straight to the Mark IIIs because that's gonna be so much better. And I think this might actually be the. Let's see. There is no quest for these. Never mind. And then once we have the Mark IIIs of both of these, we can duplicate it very easily. So, not a concern. Let's get the obsidian. And I realize we don't actually have to do anything super special with these because it will auto place in my inventory. So there is the energy collector Mark III. And now we need to get the anti-relay Mark III, antimatter relay. And you do need to have both if you want to kind of optimize stuff. Now, you're going to have to forgive me a little bit because it's been a very long time since I've done anything with this stuff. So remembering everything that, you know, how they all work and whatnot is a little bit of a challenge. But I hope that I'm going to be able to kind of deal with that. Now, the energy condensers Mark III are going to require one of each of the energy collector and the antimatter relay Mark IIIs. Not a big deal. We're going to make a ton of these because we're going to set them up to be kind of very useful. So we're going to need 3 of these. And let's stop there. That should be fine. And then we'll do kind of similar thing with these. Now, once again, we are going to put these in here so that we can always have them. Make sure that stuff is kind of well protected. And let's go ahead and take this stuff out. And see. We're going to put these away for right now. Actually, yeah, let's put those away for right now. And let's see, gold blocks. Can we make some gold blocks out of this? Okay, so we have 2200 EMC in there. We can get a gold ingot. That'll get us to 245, and honestly, I don't care about that much. That's not that much EMC. So let's go ahead and break our condensers, and we're going to upgrade all 3 of these. So to do that, this is really expensive. It requires 3 dark matter blocks, 3 red matter blocks, 2 black hole units, and then the antimatter and the energy collectors. So that is pretty expensive, but it is definitely worth it. So these go here, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and these also cost a lot of energy, 10 million. So we'll get one, and then I'll probably end up making the rest later. But we can go ahead and start working on the other thing that we need to do, which is flowers. So EMC flowers. One thing we're going to need, first thing we're going to need is glowstone. Let's just take some glowstone, and then we're going to want the Mark IIIs, the energy collectors, and the antimatter relays. So to get these, we're gonna set them up in here because we have space, and the idea is, I hope this works this way. So we can put, let me think for a second. We can do something like this. So if we put a energy collector there with an antimatter relay, like so, that should transfer energy to where we want it. And I don't remember how these work all that well, but we can do something like this, and you can basically build these little structures. Now, to make the energy collectors work optimally, you put glowstone on top of them, and what you'll very quickly find out is if we can pop down, this relay is storing EMC, and if we wanted to make that just burned the cobblestone, so it's not going to actually turn it into anything. I don't know why I thought it was going to, but if we get an energy condenser and put it underneath, we can make whatever we want. Now, these energy condensers are a lot better. Not only are they faster, it's also a quest for the record. Where is it? Energy condenser Mark IIs. Works significantly faster and has separate input and output inventories, which is really nice. So I'm going to have to remember how specifically to make good flowers. I'll have to look something up. But the basic gist is this. We have a bunch of these energy collectors connected via relays to a energy condenser, and then let's just make glowstone. Why not? And it's just making glowstone. And I'm not putting anything in there. It's just making glowstone. So that is kind of the whole point of this. And then you get more and more of the energy collectors, and you can make really big flowers. Because of the shape that they kind of have to be, they tend to be like mushroom caps, or, you know, very geometric shapes. And so it's been known as flowers forever. And so power flowers. That is the big idea. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab some awakened draconium. We're going to just go ahead and take the blocks, and we're just going to put one just right here. And then that will slowly over time make just awakened draconium. And then we'll come back over here, and this will be full of awakened draconium blocks. And that's the idea. That's the whole point of what we just did and spent an entire episode doing. So that is pretty much a good stopping point, I think, for today. I'm going to go ahead and make the last of the energy condensers. So we'll have two of them going. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to use for the other one, but maybe we'll put an infinity block in there. But I think what we can do, first of all, we're going to put this energy condenser down, and let's grab some. I like using Terra Steel because it has a pretty large, so we need 29. So that is a lot. We're going to make an iron singularity. We're going to make another one, just in case we ever need it. And what's something else that has a lot of EMC? I mean, Awakened Draconium does. We could use... what's something really good? Diamonds are usually pretty good. Emeralds are usually really good. Especially these emeraldic crystals. We don't have much use for them. So let's go ahead and grab a bunch of these. And there is a second iron singularity, which we are going to go ahead and put in here. Now, if we just place the iron singularity there, this is a shapeless recipe, probably. It doesn't actually say. Some of these are going to be shaped. I think typically this one is shaped. Yeah, it is shapeless. It's that little mark in the corner. So it doesn't matter what order you put them in, but I always find it's better to kind of put them like they're shown. So we need to start collecting all the items for this, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We need a nugget and an ingot, and let's see what else we can make. So ultimate stew, cosmic meatballs, and Indus pearl are things that are a little bit more difficult to make. The Indus pearl is actually not that bad. It does require a nether star, which we don't currently have one. So we'll wait on that for now. Crystal matrix ingots and a diamond lattice. We can get both of those. Or we should be able to anyways. Crystal matrix ingot. And we'll just start kind of filling this in. And then we're going to need block of Enderium, block of steel, and dark steel. So steel, dark steel. Dark steel is another thing that is actually not good. Mana steel is better. Wow. And then Enderium. Enderium, we already have a bunch of blocks of that because we're storing them as blocks because we get them as nuggets. Enderium is not too bad a material. So we can put all of those in here. And most of what's left is just the singularities. So let's see if we can do any of this stuff. So cosmic meatballs require all the raw meats plus a pile of neutrons. So let's see. Raw fish, raw chicken, raw pork, raw mutton, and raw beef, and then some neutrons. Now, why did we make that duplicate crafting table? For this exact reason. So we should be able to just... Oh, I'm missing raw rabbit. But I have rabbit essence, which can be used to make raw rabbit. It's just like so. So that is nice and easy. Oh, it doesn't actually require mutton. So there is the cosmic meatballs. These are really, really good food sources, but they're also kind of expensive with the neutrons. However, it's probably worth it to eat them. If you really have a lot of neutrons and you're not using them, we probably could. But because we can actually EMC both the cosmic meatballs and the neutrons, I don't think it's worth it to do anything with that. The Indus Pearl is a bunch of Ender Pearls, the Neutronium ingots, and then Nether Star, and then the Ultimate Stew. This requires a lot of stuff that I don't think we have quite yet, so we'll consider that. That is also a really good food source. So we mostly need to just get singularities, and once we have the Infinity Catalyst, we can duplicate it, one, and then we can also make the Infinity Armor and never die. So that, I think, is a good stopping point for today's episode. I am going to set up the flowers, the power flowers, or flowers of power, however you want to say it, and start, working on getting some good EMCable stuff. We're probably going to have one that is going to be for... I think I am going to use one with the infinity blocks, because these are really, really high EMC. And so presumably we can just make a bunch of those, and that'll be great. So that's the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. A little bit different. We kind of stepped away from we did a little bit of Draconic Evolution, but we need to do a lot more Draconic Evolution stuff, and planning for the gigantic tier 8 energy core is kind of the next plan of action, but we need the Draconium first. So I am going to get the flowers set up and work on some more singularity stuff, and then next time we'll make some more progress. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!